Hello, welcome back, all sword and musketeers. I'd like to wish you all a happy new year, which is fast coming upon us. It's December 23. In a couple of days, it'll all click away. Another year will have passed, and all our antiques and collectibles will have become a year older, which just is part of the fun of collecting things when you want to say, this piece is X number of years old. We're now on to an even year, and all you mathematical geniuses like myself will find it a little bit easier to date things on even years if you're number dyslexic, which I think I might be, which is not a great help when it comes to writing down serial numbers. Anyway, as a special treat, I'd like to look at one of the last pieces in my collection and show you what I've managed to get hold of. Now, dare I speak about the Colt single action army? In general, no, because I got into gun collecting and the fascination with the thing in Civvy Street after our wonderful UK government had banned the ownership of handguns due to the terrible Dunblane massacre in Scotland. But we won't talk about that too deeply because we all have our suspicions about what really went on there. But of course it is the regular gun owner, the guy with the genuine interest or target shooter who suffers when the loonies come out of the woodwork and someone in charge drops the ball. As I said, less about that. But due to their magnanimity and general wonderfulness of our government, we can at least collect and hold and possess for historical means, education and recording historic firearms produced pre-1900. So, as I slowly looked for my first real cowboy gun on the world circuit of collecting, selling and buying, I started to become of the opinion that I would never get my hands on a single action army Colt because of the caliber problems over here in the UK. Less said about that, the better. I could probably go and cause more harm in one day with my car than with an obsolete caliber weapon. But anyway, here we go. What do we have here? Well, what fell into the bracket of pre-1900 and of a particularly weird caliber that we could hold it in the UK? Well, lo and behold, one Colt single action army in 450 Boxer. Now I'm going to tip you down so I remove my great glowing eye circles and show you what we have here. We have a privately issued cased Colt single action army in 450 Boxer. Now, that was a caliber that really only suited itself as a close distance self-protection caliber. Now this gun has got a 5.5-inch barrel, obviously blued finish, varnished walnut grips. There are no military acceptance marks on the weapon, and, or if you like conversely, there is a there's a Colt's London address along the top in straight block capitals. It actually says Colt PT FA Manufacturing Co. Hartford, Connecticut, USA Depot 14 Pall Mall, London. So this weapon was sold through Colt's London office. See those markings, they are there along the barrel. So what do we look for next? Well, it's fairly obvious, but they're very, very small, that there are London proofs on the weapon. Just there. There's one as an example. But they're lovely and small, which is nice. It has the patent dates of 1871, 72 and 75 on this side, on the left-hand side of the case-coloured frame. And then back here, it has caliber .45B, which I take to mean boxer. So 45 boxer. Most people have never heard of it. Single action, serial number on the cylinder 4048 next to a proof number, a proof mark. Loading port, unloading port. Obviously centre fire, which boxer cartridge was. You have the aiming groove down the back of the strap, and obviously pick up off the front side. As I said, blued finish. Cylinder is actually the strongest part. The barrel is showing some losses, but the hammer, the trigger guard is strong, and the straps. There's the number again, 44048 on the base of the strap. Now this is what we in England, when we were children, called a real cowboy gun. This is your single action army as carried by all our cowboy heroes. But in this case, it will have been purchased by a British officer. And they were given an allowance to equip themselves for weapons and uniform, which they would then go and source from London retailers. But just have a look at the condition of that frame. That is a thing of beauty. Beautiful, beautifully finished, no sharp edges. The whole thing is it's ergonomic in its design. That's not going to catch up in your holster. Hence the later use of, quick draw, famous gunfights, etc. There's a little bit of wear on the back, but some British Army officer decided he wanted an American Colt, a Colt 45, but it was in 45 boxer. Now, what's special about 45 boxer and Colt is that they only produced 729 of these revolvers in that caliber. And out of that 729, 89 with a Bisley flat top, which I personally think, compared to this weapon, is a fairly ugly weapon. I mean, it's nice to own it and have it, but it's not the same as a full-blown single-action army. And there you have a full-blown single-action army in a British caliber. Now, the serial number puts it in the early black powder range. 44048 must mean that it was made between 1873 and 1883 in the first major batch of Colt single-action armies. That fits with the varnished frame, which varnished grips, which you can see are just, most of the varnish is there and very light covering, but there are patches where it's worn off. It fits with the early, serial number fits with the early barrel removal, cylinder pin removal. So you undo this screw here and then pull out this pin, and then the cylinder will come out. No, it's absolutely right. It fits, it's perfect. So if you take away the 89 flat top Bisleys, that means that there were only 640 of these made in this caliber and in this configuration. So rarity value or interest starts to rise quite rapidly. If you consider, in fact, that there were 30 different calibers. This gun was offered in 30 different calibers in its hundreds of thousands. We've all seen them in various states of repair or disrepair. But here's one that has survived beautifully. It looks like it has been used because this barrel has heated up and it has lost some of its finish. But in fact, when you take it to pieces, it's in wonderful condition. Now, in the box, we have some of the regular bits and pieces. There's the very simple screwdriver. And there is a cleaning rod, equally simple. There is an oil bottle. And there are some inert 450 boxer cartridges. I have pulled these and made them inert because of our laws. The primers are fired off. Job's a good one. Got to think of, no, that's a 455. Here we go. These are 450 boxer. The tiny little cartridge, short thing. Really only good enough for close quarters protection. Obviously, very nice to have the label in the lid of the box with all the instructions on how to take it to pieces. Having read those yesterday, again, I will just show you the step in the cylinder, which is a dead giveaway for the 450 boxer. So very carefully, with kid gloves, you might say, undo that screw, pull the hammer away from the cylinder just because, withdraw the pin. Didn't mean to pull it all the way out, but there she blows. Put her in there because it's a bit oily. Open the loading gate and roll out the cylinder. And we can have a closer look at what's going on inside there. There are case color hardened patches on the back. You can see the trawl, the hole for the firing pin. I'm getting my guns mixed up. I was looking at this. Okay, no, here we go. Right, so if you look through here, I don't know if you can see the step or definite ridge in the cylinder. Stops that. That's at the tip of the cartridge body. What we need is some reflection. There we go. There we go. You can just see it there. So that denotes 450 boxer. Just quickly have a look at this cylinder. Regular flutes. Proof marks on every chamber. It's just a lovely piece of kit. Beautifully made, beautifully finished. American engineering at its absolute best. Colt engineering, to say the least. What can I say? One of 640 that could survive around the world. Who knows how many have been lost, dropped in the sand, or just destroyed in battle. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. Single action army in 450 boxer. A rare animal indeed. There we go. Thanks for watching. Join me again any other time. Still a big old bullet, isn't it? Still gonna smart somewhat. Anyway, there she goes. Back in a box. Single action. Shouldn't really release it like that, but don't want to slam the hammer down. Back in a fitted box with all markings that intimate that it's been in there for a little while. There we go. Thanks for watching. Click like or subscribe, or come and join me on my YouTube, on my website, which is www.buyswordandmusket.co.uk. Happy New Year. Bye.